Okay, here's my 2010 mock draft for the NFL. The NFL draft does start tomorrow, the first round, and then Friday 2nd through 3rd, and then Saturday they finish it 4 through 7. So if you didn't know, just tell me. If you guys watched my review videos on my rankings for offense and defensive players in the draft, I did top 10 in each position. Not a lot of people watched it. I kind of expected that. But with that said, I'm not going to say why, like, for example, I have Ndamukong Suh over Gerald McCoy. I'm not going to discuss that because you guys can watch my rankings video. I'm just going to say, go down the list, who I think is going to go, who I think, and not who I think should go. So there's two different things, who I think should and who I think is. I'm going to go who I think is going to go. So let's get this going. Let's try to fit it into one video. So let's get going. St. Louis Rams first pick. By them not signing Bradford, I think they're still open up to trade that pick away. I think they're still going to keep it open all the way up to the draft, and probably I want to say halfway through their time limit, and then they'll finally pick Sam Bradford from Oklahoma. Best quarterback in the draft, best quarterback in the field, long term and short term. Number 2, Detroit Lions, best defensive tackle on the board, Ndamukong Suh. He's aggressive, he's disruptive. The Lions need that. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not too shabby, defensive tackle Gerald McCoy, close second. I think even if the Bucs have the number 2 pick, they'd probably pick Gerald McCoy just because he looks like the next Warren Sapp. Number 4, a lot of people or rumors are flying about they could trade this pick away, but I think the Redskins need O-line help, and offensive tackle Russell Okung from Oklahoma State is a great fit there. They need help. If you don't protect McNabb, he's not going to produce for you. Number 5, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is where everyone's mock draft splits and goes in different ways. I think 1 through 4, everyone has it probably the same, and number 5 is when they go different. You could go Brian Bulaga, C.J. Spiller, Eric Berry, Trent Williams, whoever you have. I have Eric Berry. He's the safest pick, I think. Brian Bulaga is on a lot of people's mock drafts. I just think he's injury prone. He has short arms. He's not your typical offensive tackle. He is very productive. Once he's healthy, he's great. If he's healthy. And Scott Piloli from the Chiefs, the GM, he's all about safe picks. Eric Berry is the safest pick in my mind. Number 6, the Seattle Seahawks. I doubt they'll trade this pick away. There's been little rumors are going around that they will. I doubt it. They need O-line help. Trent Williams is the man from Oklahoma. A lot of off-the-field issues. But the Seattle Seahawks' new coach, Pete Carroll, just came from the UFC. He's a motivator. He knows how to motivate his players. I think he can motivate Trent Williams to produce on the field, stop being lazy, get his head in the game, and produce to be a great offensive tackle. Because if he focuses 100% on being an offensive tackle and playing in the NFL, I definitely see him being better than Russell Okung. But with that said, Trent Williams, number 6 to the Seattle Seahawks. Number 7, the Browns. They could easily trade this pick away. They've been going crazy. Mike Holmgren's the GM. That dude, he don't care who you are. He's crazy, man. I love Mike Holmgren. He was great when he was here at Seattle. Good luck with the Browns. I think he picked safety Earl Thomas. I think Earl Thomas is a close second when facing. He's a close second. I like Berry over Thomas. I said I wasn't going to discuss that way, but I just had to say that. Browns, if they stay there, they need help on that secondary. Earl Thomas is the best in the draft. So Earl Thomas from Texas goes 7. Number 8, the Raiders. You don't know what the Raiders are going to do. Al Davis and everyone just crazy. Him picking Darius Harry-Bay just wow. But if they stay there, they need help on the O-line. You can't put all the blame on Jamarcus Russell. That O-line is horrible. Al Davis is horrible. I hate to say it. But just in simple, the Raiders need O-line help. Safest pick, Brian Bulaga. Safest pick on the board right now. I didn't say he was safe up there at 5, but right now he's the safest pick at number 8. Brian Bulaga from Iowa. He's going to be a great offensive tackle. If he stays healthy, he's going to help the Raiders out tremendously. Number 9, the Bills. A lot of rumors flying around. They're going to pick Jimmy Clausen. Then those went down the water. And they were saying they were going to pick up Tim Tebow. I think number 9 in the first round is way too high for Tebow. What do they need help second? Nose tackle. They need help on that D-line. Dan Williams. Number 10, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, if they can just keep together, they can be great. But with that said, what they need help with, they can pick up C.J. Spoiler. But I think Maurice Jones-Drew is good enough for enough years that they don't need to pick Spoiler yet. I'm going to go with Derek Morgan, defensive end from Georgia Tech. They need help on that defensive end spot way more than a running back. And Morgan is great. Now, number 11, the Broncos. I have a weird feeling that this pick's going to go. I think they're going to trade it. I really do. So with that said, if they stay there, they need help on the interior and the middle linebacker spot. Landon McClain, he is probably the best in the inner linebacker position in the draft. But I think he's probably going to be the only one taken in the first round too. So if the Broncos stay, Landon McClain. Number 12, Miami Dolphins, same thing. I have a feeling they're going to trade their pick away too. But if they don't, they need a fast pass rusher, defensive end / offensive linebacker, Brandon Graham. I think he's the best, kind of in that position, the defensive end, offensive linebacker spot. I think he's the best, Brandon Graham. 13, the 49ers, offensive tackle. They need an offensive tackle, but they love Jimmy Clausen. So the question is, who do they feel, if they take Clausen, do they feel that Anthony Davis is going to be there at 17, or are they going to take Davis and do they feel like Clausen is going to be there at 17? My thing is that if they let Anthony Davis go down, I think the Giants are going to pick him up at number 15. I think that's going to happen, so I'm probably thinking the 49ers are going to think that's going to happen. So number 13, not because Anthony Davis is better than Jimmy, it's just Davis could go from 14 to 16. So offensive tackle Anthony Davis from Rutgers. Number 14, the Seattle Seahawks. I so disagree with picking C.J. Spoiler in this position because if you give the ball to Justin Forsett, he can do great things for you. He did that last year, but they just kept giving it to Jones. Jones wasn't producing. Julius Jones wasn't producing, so they gave it to Forsett. Forsett would do some things, and then Jones would go and do a little bit of things, and then he'd give the ball for Jones. And it's like, come on, man, Forsett is great. You just have to give him the opportunity. I don't think they're giving him the opportunity. Rumors are going crazy that maybe Taylor Mays would come up here. I think Taylor Mays is 14's way too high to pick Taylor Mays. But Taylor Mays being from Seattle, playing at USC with Pete Carroll his entire college career, definitely he could definitely go here with that. But I just think 14 is too high for Taylor Mays. But it's either C.J. Spoiler, Taylor Mays. I'm going to go with Spiller just because I think overall he's a better football player. But I will not be surprised if Taylor Mays does go here. Number 15, the Giants. I'm going to mess this guy's up name, so I'm just going to say it's the guard from Idaho, Mike Upahara. The Giants are hoping a tackle comes down or a lineman, but Mike is the best one on there. But he's going to be a great football player. I think Mike is very underrated. I think he's a great guard. They need help on that guard position. The guard center, Marquise Pouncey from Florida, he could go here, but he's more of a center, and the Giants don't need him one. They need a guard tackle, and that's what Mike Upahara is from Idaho.